looks like we're back. All right. So, anyways, we were talking about all the good values in the book. I gave people a couple examples of, what they can use. You also have shows and hotel discounts and a lot of things like that. So it's not just it's just not gambling and drinks and things like that. If people want to save money on hotels, your website gives everybody some of the best information on how to save money at hotels.
Well, we list information that, is important to people, like what the parking fees are, what the resort fees are. In the member rewards book, we, for the first time in a few years, we've got discounts on hotels. So we've got 20% off, 25% off, flat rate, like Silver Sevens, which is just redone all of their hotel rooms. We've got like a flat rate of $17.77 there. Get it? 3 sevens, triple sevens. What do they call it? No, they're Silver Sevens, they're called. So, there's the sevens in there. So yeah, there's lots of ways to save at different levels. But I don't know if it got in before, or, I just don't want this to be a commercial. We like people to come to the website, LasVegasAdvisor.com. We've got a lot of information there, news of the day, question of the day, several blogs from some really top players. So, there's a lot to get there for you as well.
Now, you put it all together. I'm just getting some people that are writing in saying that the audio is still a problem. Guest is echoing. So let me bring down your volume a little bit. I don't know what it's like on your side, how you have your mic, but I'm going to bring it down just a touch. I've got the echo cancellation on, so I think we're coming across all right. But Anthony is just saying, guys, this is probably dollar for dollar the best value in town. You can go on the website. You can get information on how to save on hotels. What's the best places to stay with the lowest resort fees? What's the best places to go for shows? Like I said, he has all kinds of match play in here that as a gambler, I know I'm going to be using that. Even though I live here, there's a million coupons in here I can use. I love that you just added Sierra, I think, to your book. And they came through at a nice little comp.
Yeah, well, Circa is the biggest deal downtown. And they declined to be in their first year, and this year they said, okay, we want to be a part of it. So it's cool. You go up to their Legacy Lounge up on the top. It's their rooftop bar, and get 2 free glasses of champagne. So take your wife, or girlfriend, or favorite animal, or whatever. I don't know. Head up there and you get 2 glasses of champagne for free. And I'll tell you what, a glass of champagne at the top of Circa, the Legacy Lounge, is going to be about $18. So it's a $36 offer right there.
Okay. All right. That's a great deal. Also, I saw, I forget where it is, but I was looking at it yesterday. You can go to the sports or the racing track, and they give you discounts. And going to the racing track is expensive. Driving those cars, they have a coupon in here that gives you, I think, 20% off or a couple free laps on the racing track.
This is a new one we got this year, a company called Dream Racing, who allow you to drive out at the Motor Speedway, and you get into a real, race car. And these packages run about $600-700 a piece. So a 25% discount on that, you're talking about $150 an hour. So if somebody wants to do that, let's say you want to come to Vegas and you go, all right, we want to do that Dream Racing thing, that's our deal. You're going to save $150 to $200 just by using this one coupon. So we try to do things like that. We know a lot of people won't use that, but those who do are going to save a bundle. We think that's pretty cool. Let the others go get 3 rounds of drinks for free for 2 at Ellis Island, or 2 for 1 in the cafe at Ellis Island or Emerald Island or at Binion's Cafe or whatever. So there's kind of something for everybody.
Okay. Yeah, there's some great values in here, guys. So I hope the sound's coming through. They said there's a little echo on Anthony's part. I'm not there to see his mic, so I'm not sure. I think our mic is set up. But listen, basically he's telling you that this is the best value dollar for dollar in town. You get 12 months of the Las Vegas Advisor, which I get. You get the coupon book. Now, it just came out, so, you've got a whole year to use this. All right? Let's see who this is. All right. See who this is. So it's a great value.
Hello?
And I definitely want people to take a look at it. Now, again, let me see if I can put up the website real quick.
He has his other guest on right now. He's going to call you in just a few minutes.
So there's the award book.
Nope,
The
we're good.
rewards
We're
book?
just talking to the other guest right now.
So there's the book you get, and here's the thing: it's really, you can put it right in your shirt pocket, you
Sure,
can put it in
absolutely.
your back pocket, whatever you want. And then here is the
Okay, sounds
Las
good. I will.
Vegas
Okay, no
Advisor
problem.
website, LasVegasAdvisor.com, 702, call 252-0655, and you can get somebody right there. You can do it online, or they will mail it to you. You know, if you're old school and you want to have the Las Vegas Advisor mailed to you, they'll mail it to you every month. That's what I like. I like to have it here and make notes. And for the people that don't know, 2024, guess what? The Super Bowl's coming to Vegas. I mean, we go from no team to a team, and then all of a sudden we're getting a Super Bowl at 2024. And being an ex-musician, Anthony, tell them about what's coming into town for the music lovers.
Who's the ex-musician? You or me?
Me. I went to Berkeley School of Music. I was a drummer. Okay.
Okay. I like drums. Drums are good. Well, I'll tell you what. We're gonna have more shows in Vegas this year than we've had in a long time. The problem is, are they gonna play? Like, we had Kiss coming in and Kiss canceled. We had, at Resorts World, Adele. That was a big deal. Adele was supposed to be playing and Adele canceled. Celine Dion was supposed to be in, Celine Dion canceled. So, we've got a lot of them lined up that are supposed to be coming in, and there should be a really great music scene, whether you're doing it with the big names at the casinos, or whether you're going to a place like Brooklyn Bowl, or, some of the things they're starting to put in downtown, or, in the Arts District area. It should be a really good music scene, but we're still dealing with, the COVID cancellations, which is a problem.
But we have the Grammys coming in. That was what I was thinking about. The Grammys are going to be here.
Well, I don't know. I keep saying, how many of us are going to go see the Grammys? I don't know. I think it's going to be good for the city, but to me, it's more of who we get to see for reasonable prices sometimes, and not so reasonable at others. With the actual live performers in Vegas, and Vegas is still entertainment capital of the world for my money. But yeah, the Grammys are going to be coming in. We add that to the Super Bowl. We add that to the NFL draft. We add that to the Pro Bowl. And Vegas is doing its thing again in entertainment. That's for sure.
All right. Well, you've given everybody definitely a reason to come over to your website. Again, it's LasVegasAdvisor.com. I want everybody to go there. Tell them Garrison and Miss Megan sent you there. Get your package for $37. You get the digital version of the Las Vegas Advisor every month, and then you get the unbelievable coupon book. And this is just an amazing book. Plus, I know Anthony's a publisher. I want to bring him back sometime, because he does something that a lot of people don't know. He publishes his own books. And on the last show, I mentioned one of the books that you have. It's one of my favorites. And this is definitely a great coffee table book. This book here, called The Art of Gambling. Guys, what a great book. It has all the art going back from the Renaissance to the 1500s all the way up to present day. It's an incredible book. I don't know how long it took you to put that together, Anthony, but you did a great job.
It took a while, and we had the problem was we had to clear permissions with all of those. So we were calling in the middle of the night. We were calling museums in France and Belgium and everything else to talk to the curators there to clear permissions. And that was a labor of love. That was definitely a labor of love. It's one of my favorite books that we've published. We've published over 100 books on gambling here.
I know.
And that one ranks highly for me.
Yeah, that's a great book. I bought a couple copies and gave them out as Christmas gifts. I mean, it was an unbelievable book. So, well, listen, I want to really appreciate you from taking time out of your busy schedule. I know you get to the office early, you stay late, and hopefully we can have you come back. And this is something that I think people should know about every couple months, about what's going on in town, how you can help them get better deals, not only in hotels, but dining and match play. I mean, there's always something going on that you know about that the rest of the people don't know about. And here's the thing, guys. Order your book and get it before you come to Vegas. That way you can go through it, figure out what you want to do, map out your coupons, your trip, where you want to go, and do a little homework. And like I said, it just fits right in your pocket. Goes in your back pocket. Girls, you can throw it in your purse. It's not that big, and it has over $600 worth of values. It's one of the best deals in town, and you can thank Mr. Anthony Curtis for all that information. Okay?
All right, man. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Anthony. I'll talk to you in a couple days. All right?
Sounds good.
Thank you.
Bye.
All right, guys. I'm sorry about the audio. I wasn't there when he did his adjustments. Hopefully, you can hear everything coming in right now, and hopefully, you can hear Miss Megan. Let me bring her back real quick. I'm going to bring her in on her little picture-in-picture. Okay, you there, Miss Megan?
I'm right here.
All right. Well, hopefully, everybody can hear us now. Did John call when we were on?
John did call.
All right, I'm going to get John Patrick on the phone. We had him on, and I guess we had him on hold, and I guess it got disconnected. So let me give John a call right now. And if you have any questions for John Patrick, he's written 15 books. He had his television show. He's a walking encyclopedia. So. That's what happens when you have multiple guests. You have one on hold, and then it got disconnected. So, direct from Florida.
Hello.
John.
Hey, Gary, can you send me the link to the show? I can't find it.
All right, well, listen, you're on the air right now. I'll send it to you after we do it, but we just finished with Anthony Curtis, and we've got people that are going to be wanting to ask you questions. Miss Megan's on. Say hello to John, Miss Megan.
Hi, John. How are you?
Hi, Megan. How you doing? You didn't send me the link.
I'm sorry. I don't know how to. I was going to tell Garrison how to do it.
Well, I emailed it to you yesterday, John, but you may have lost it. But don't worry, I'll send it to you. So.
I've been storm today.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
I had no phone, no electric, no TV, nothing, no computer.
Well, there you go, guys. You know, anything that can't, it's like Murphy's Law. John's electricity went out, his computer went out, his phone went out. So we just got him back on his phone online. And, at least we have him on. John, let me just start.
I apologize, Gav.
That's all right. Not a problem. It's not your fault. There's nothing you can do about it, I mean, things happen. But
Well, if anybody wants to buy my house here in Florida, it's up for $300.
all right, I don't know if people heard that, but John said his house is up for sale in Florida for $300. I mean, that won't even pay for taxes. But let me ask you a question, John. I know you're having a tremendous season on football. We just had some unbelievable games this weekend. The Super Bowl's coming up in 3 weeks. Were there any surprises that you saw during the year? Do you have any comments for our viewers on what you think is going to happen for the playoffs and the Super Bowl? And then I know you're getting into hockey. So talk to me a little bit about your sports handicapping service.
I got so many people on the service, and they haven't got a clue what they're doing. I think they're crazy to bet sports unless they know what they're doing. Now, I had a hot year, a red hot, because I bet both ways. In other words, I had Kansas City to win this weekend in a teaser. I went back and bet the opposite. They were playing, I think it was Buffalo. I forget who they played on Sunday night. That was 2 days ago. But anyway, Buffalo had the lead, and Mahomes, you can't bet against Kansas City. You cannot bet against him. You can't bet against Stafford. Now, whether you like the Rams or not, you've got to be nuts to bet on the Rams and go up against Mahomes. Now, let's suppose you're a Kansas City fan, and oh my God, Mahomes is the best quarterback in the league. He's almost as good as Brady. Are you going to bet against Stafford? I mean, he came from behind the other night and won the game in overtime. You see, the quarterbacks in the league make the difference between who can move and who can't. You can't bet on that game. If you're going to bet the game itself, you've got to bet the total. Now, the total is 54.5 on Kansas City. Now, let's see. We'll start with Cincinnati and Kansas City. I took, about a week ago, I took the over because I think it's going to be, because let's face it, Burrows throws on every play, and you can't give the ball to Mahomes. So you can't bet the game itself. But if you're going to bet it, you have to bet it. Well, of course, everybody has to bet it. You've got to bet the total. And the Kansas City is 54.5. So you've got to go over 54.5 or put it into a teaser. A 10-point teaser would bring it down to 44.5. Excuse me. And then you would take the opposite to pick the teams. And I've had a red, scorching hot year. But even with that, I'm not going to bet the games. I will not bet against a quality quarterback like Mahomes. And if any of you guys are sports bettors and you want to call in and say you disagree with me, I'll welcome it. I'm not going to yell at you. But I'll give you plenty of reasons why you should not bet against Kansas City under no circumstances. But you can't bet against Cincinnati. You can't bet against the Rams. So if you're going to bet sports, I don't give a rat's tail who's going to win. I care if the game is going to go over. Because all four quarterbacks throw except the San Francisco quarterback. In that case there, put that in a teaser. And at 46.5, go over 36.5. But because I believe that San Francisco's going to fall behind, and to catch up, Garoppolo's going to have to throw. So the sports is winnable because it's a fantastic way of betting. Never bet the NBA. Never bet the NBA. Bet hockey. Hockey's a good sport to bet on.
Yeah, I love
Power
hockey.
versus dog. You never take a dog to beat a favorite in hockey. The favorite is going to win 70% of the time in hockey over a collection of all the power teams. And in NBA, don't bet the NBA. My God.
Well, I love hockey because unlike baseball where they take the pitcher out in 4 to 5 innings, the goalie stays in pretty much the whole game. So as the goalie goes, so does the game. And
that's right. Well, again, you can always look to see who the best goalies in the league by looking at the records of the teams that are playing. Let's suppose Team A has got a record of 23-11, and they're playing a team that's got, we'll say 15 and 26 losses. So what I do is I look for teams that have a 10-point edge on the winning side, and bet them in a 3-team parlay. Since you can't put hockey into teasers. So I always take a power team where the team that's a power team has won more than 8 games against the dog, and they have lost less games. So the combination of the power team's wins and the difference between their losses comes into the teams of at least 14. It's so easy. Take the power team and the losses. Compare them to the team they're playing. If the difference between the total of both the wins and the totals is 14 or better, bet that a favorite. But never bet the dog in hockey because you can't get points.
well, you taught me that a long time ago. Power versus dog. In fact, going back to your football, we've got a question Miss Megan's going to ask you from a gentleman. But one question or a comment from James, and he just said he is right. Totals are the way to play. So he agrees with you on that. And let me see if I can come back and let me see if I can bring up Miss Megan real quick. Okay. All right, and she has a question for you, John.
Yes, John, Dice Emotion. Dice Emotion wants to know, what is your favorite table game?
What is my favorite what?
Table game.
Table game.
Oh, craps. If you're going to play craps, never ever in your lifetime sit down at a blackjack table. The house has the edge in blackjack far, far, far and away. Never play blackjack, period. Craps gives you a chance to win. When I bet craps, I'm mostly a don't better. And here's the way I play on the don't side. Let's suppose I walk up to a table, and I've charted that table, and the trend is going towards the don't. Like there'll be two guys will make 1 point, another guy will make 2 points, and the rest of the time they'll make 1 or 2 points and then 7 out. So that's a don't table. Here's the way I play the don't. I put $20 on the do. I'm just using an average for a $50 player to a $10 player. You put and this way it's right in between, but it applies to both the $50 player and the $10 player. The $20 player puts 20 on the wherever it comes as a point?
We'll go with 6.
We'll go what?
6.
6. Okay, 6 is a point. You surely don't want 6 as a don't number because it's the easiest number to make.
All right,
6 and 8.
Let's change it. I'll make it easy. Change it to 10. Let's change it to 10. We'll make it easy.
Okay, 10. 10 is the best number for the don't better, along with 4, because it can only be made 3 ways, as opposed to the 6 ways you can make a 7. So the odds are on my favor when I am betting do and don't, because this way here is the do better that becomes the dominant, and it's 10. So I would bet against it. I'm going to go back and lay against the 10. I'm going to lay $40 to win 20 and put $2 on the hard 10. This way here, I've got the hardest numbers to make, 10, and if that was 4, it'd be the same answer. And I cut it down from 3 ways to make the 10 to 2 ways because I take the hard way. So now my edge is 6 to 2 in my favor against the house. What's the house got? They got 2 chances of beating me. The only way they can beat me is 6-4, 4-6. That's the only way.
Yeah.
I've got 6 to 2 odds against the house. And if the point was 4, I've got 2 to 1 odds against the house. The only way the house can beat me is 3-1, 1-3. I've got the 6 ways to make a 7 plus the hard 4, which would be 2-2, and the hard 10, of course, is 5-5.
Well, I know you have that in your super system. There's hedge betting on the don't, which we talk about, and it's in your videos. We also talk about what they call the Patrick system. So they can all see that not only when they read your advanced book, which we have on screen. It's that big green book up in the upper right, but it's also on your videos. So here's what I'm going to do, John. I get people calling me saying, how can you get John Patrick's old television shows? How can we get them? Well, my production company put them on VHS, so we really don't have them for sale, but we put them on the show. What I'm going to do is I'm going to play just a little part of one of your old shows. I don't know when this was recorded, probably in the 80s. It's on Roulette, and I think it's a friend of yours who used to play baseball with you. He was a catcher, and you're talking to him about Roulette. Now, guys, when they put this on flash drive, it's all on one big flash drive. So I have to move this up to approximately 39 minutes because I just couldn't edit out one little piece. So, all right, let me see if I can get this up. We're going to play a little bit of John from So You Want to Be a...
How you doing, Eddie?
Play ball this year?
Are you a catcher by trade?
I think so, yeah.
You're a doctor by choice and a catcher by trade.
That's right.
Andy is an ex-catcher of mine. He can hit and he can catch. Go, hey, Ed, I can't pick on you then. I never pick on catchers.
I got a question.
Go ahead.
Roulette, can you go over to the outside, the different ways to change off the dominance if you're thinking a winning streak, let's say on red, let's say, and then how do you switch off from there to another dominance such as even or odd from there? How do you go about, when do you know when to switch?
Hey, Andy, when you walked into the casino, you pick 3 dominants. It's either going to be high, low, odd, even, or black, red. Give me 3 dominants, Andy, just anything.
Okay, red.
Okay.
Even.
Low. And what, low?
Low.
Okay, now, hey, Andy, of the 3 dominants you gave me, give me one which is your power one. Which is going to be your first dominant?
Okay, red.
Okay, which is going to be your second?
Okay, even.
Okay, and then your third naturally. Okay, so what you would do then, when you walked up to the table, you're charting the tables looking for red and even, since they are your first 2 dominants. You're going to go up to the table and play the one which is showing the most. So when you get to that table, suppose red was the dominant that was showing the most. That's the one you're going to concentrate on, keeping an eye on even. While you're playing the red, if the even starts to show, now you bring in the second dominant. If while you're playing, Andy, the red stops showing, stop on the red. In other words, stop playing it and only follow the even as a dominant. We're now watching for the low to pick up. It doesn't mean you're going to change over to black because black is showing, because you can only stay with the dominant that you chose. You see what I'm saying, Andy?
Right, huh?
So in other words, you yourself, for that particular day, you're locked into low, even, and red. So you would go up to the table because red is showing, but when it gets cold, you'll drop off and go to your second dominant. In this case here was even. When even starts to drop off, you're going to drop off here. If if low or red has not picked up when even becomes cold, you got to leave that table. But if one of the other dominants that you chose comes up, now what you're going to do is you're going to follow that dominant. There are going to be times, Andy, when you're going to have all three dominants going. There's going to be times when only one will be going, and there'll be times when two of them are going to be going. But it's got to be quick. But you cannot switch to the opposite of the dominant you chose. Hey, good point.
Right.
Your questions are as good as a catcher you are. And yeah, can I say one thing, Steve?
I
Andy,
want to
did you
ask.
if I brag about you?
want to ask Andy a question though after you talk to him.
Hey, Andy. Doesn't a good catcher make a good pitcher?
All the time.
All the
Until
time.
you scuff up the ball for him.
See, I wanted to ask you, how good is John Patrick on the mound?
I'll tell you, he's tough. You got to know him, otherwise he'll take you to the cleaners. I'll tell you, he's a tough pitcher.
Atta boy, Andy. Thanks, Ann.
All right, John.
All right, Andy, thanks a lot for the phone call tonight. Our phone number, once again, is 636-5333. And right now, we're going to take a brief time out from your phone calls so John Patrick can tell you we've got a new date for a cocktail reception and seminar. It'll be November 15th. And here's John to tell you more.
All right, so John, we just played a little bit of one of your old shows. You were actually talking to one of your catchers when you were in baseball about roulette. I thought it was kind of interesting.
I didn't see it or I couldn't hear it.
Well, I'm going to send it to you. You know, we're live, so if I sent you the link, we'd be on a 25-second delay. But here's another comment that says, well, go ahead, Miss Megan, you read it.
Mm-hmm.
Right here.
John, you are the king of gambling. It's been 40 years since we spoke. So glad you're okay. And that's from James Newberry.
Oh, well, I'm 45 years old, so I'm closing in on my Social Security kicking in. So, geez, I appreciate that. That was so nice of him.
Yeah, he goes way back to your old days when you were back east in New York and New Jersey.
In New Jersey.
Yeah, and
well, we had that TV show. I mean, it was unbelievable. It just you couldn't get on the show. Well, you know about call-in shows.
yeah,
They would have phones with 3 lines on it, and there'd be 36 lights blinking because everybody wanted to learn about gambling because Atlantic City had just opened, and everybody thinks, Gary, that blackjack is the best game. It's not. You know, I want to say something about Gary and I. We go back to 1980s. Gary and I, we know each other. I mean, like brothers. And I don't say that just casually. And Gary is a dice setter. He hasn't mentioned it. Not that I couldn't hear the beginning of the show. He's a dice setter. He has written a book. Now he won't even say it because he's too humble. I ain't got any brains at all, and I'm surely not humble. He wrote a book called Platinum Dice. I never touch the dice, so don't think I'm a dice setter. I am not, because I never touch the dice. I don't throw the dice. Even if I bet right, I do not touch the dice. I pass it, and then I bypass a come-out roll. After the point's established, I place a 68 for 24 each. 24 each on the 2 numbers that can come the most number of times. I got 10 ways of winning and 10 ways of winning, and I have 10 ways of winning and 12 ways of losing. Now, yeah, that's all it is. Now, Gary wrote a book called Platinum Dice. He's a dice setter, and I am not. But I have my wife gave me a couple of years ago gave me a craps table, blackjack table, roulette table, and a blank table where I play a pile poker. Now, I practiced. Actually, I got Gary's book, Platinum Dice. It is fantastic, even for a guy that doesn't touch the dice. But I worked on his system for months, and I finally mastered the art. Since I'm a softball pitcher, fast pitch, I can do anything with my fingers, like setting up the ball where I can throw curves. Actually, I got a little grease in my glove, but that's another story. I can set those dice according to the way Gary sets it up. And me, who don't throw the dice, I would get about 70% off the top of my head when I
Well, I wouldn't say that, John, but it does help out some of the players. And we mentioned you. My favorite two chapters in the book are So You Want to Be a Gambler, Part 1 and Part 2. That's where you go through your whole history of how you became a gambler. There's some great stories in there. How you got your TV show. How you got called in on a snowstorm one time to be a guest, and you were kind enough to drive. I think it was like 2 hours to get to the show in a snowstorm. And then from there, you got your own show. I mean, it was just like a snowball rolling down a hill, and then you went national. So I just love So You Want to Be a Gambler, Part 1 and Part 2. But thank you for the thank you for that kind mention on the book. We do have a question or a comment, and I think I can answer this one for the gentleman. Does John play the do and the don't up front to reduce the vig and then only play your best odds? The answer is yes. That's part of the Patrick system that's in his, not only his advanced book, but it's in his advanced and super videos that we have on flash drive. So, I think John came up with that. It's called the John Patrick system. It helps put the odds in your favor. So this gentleman definitely knows a little bit about craps because very few people would even ask that question. So thanks very much.
I could just put icing on your answer. What's the guy's first name?
Dice Emotion. That's how he goes by. Dice Emotion.
Mr. Emotion, let me tell you something. Gary covered it, but I play to set the odds in my favor. When I bet do and don't on the same time, called a Patrick system, the do and dice, when I see the number that comes, the 4 or the 10, I become a don't better. The 5 or the 9, I become a don't better. And I lay the odds against my bet. If the number becomes 6 or 8, I take the odds behind the 6 and the 8. I got them all covered. Now, I'm only a right better when the 6 or 8 is the point. I'm only a wrong better when the point is 4, 5, 9, or 10. That's it.
Yeah, that puts the odds in your favor. I mean, you're not going to win every bet, but the odds are in your favor.
You can't win every bet because they're going to make numbers.
Right.
But I got the odds in my favor every single solitary time. And that's all the house hooks for. I forget what his name was.
Dice Emotion.
Yeah, they play within the edge of 4 or 5%. The dice setter, I don't know what the percentages broke down to, but guys like Gary, who perfected the dice setting, they reduce the odds against them. Get that into your head. It's just like betting sports. The over and under this week is 54.5 on that game. 54.5 and 46.5 on the Cincinnati game. Well, by putting them in teaser, you've reduced your chances of losing. You've reduced it by 10 points by putting them in a teaser, and you've increased your chances of winning by taking a 54.5. Where some of you people are going to have to do that. I'm not going to do it. I'm going over 44.5 because I play teasers. You're always trying to put the odds in your favor. That's what the dice center does, and that's what I do.
Yeah, great advice. Now, I'm going to have Miss Megan come on. And we had our guest, Daniel, that was our guest last time. And he came back and he wanted to ask you a question about roulette. So, Miss Megan, ask John the question from Dan.
John, when it comes to chasing the dozens in roulette,
when it comes to what?
Chasing the dozens in roulette, is martingale possible to play when you lose?
Oh my God!
I knew this was
never mention a martingale. Don't ever. What's his name, Dan?
Yeah, he was on the show last time as our guest, and he likes roulette, but he wanted to know, is the martingale possible to play when you lose on the dozens, etc.?
Oh, absolutely, positively, unequivocally. I don't know how to spell unequivocally except UN. But I know one thing. Even though I can't spell unequivocally, I can't even pronounce it, but do not play the martingale. Please, you are betting that something it will happen because it's supposed to happen after so many rolls. Years ago, I was in a casino up in Atlantic City. I go to the casinos 5 days a week down here in the Hard Rock, it's called, down in Florida. Okay, when I was in Atlantic City, of course, I went to Las Vegas twice a month, and I went to Atlantic City every 5 days a week. Just to get to the martingale, people used to come up and say, "Hey, a number's supposed to come so many times. It can't go forever. It doesn't have to go forever. If you're a $10 bettor and use a martingale, let's suppose you bet $10. Now, let's suppose you lose 6 times. You've lost 10, 20, 40, 80, 160, and 320 to win $10. You're risking 320 to win 10. Are you people out of your mind? Danny, I don't know if you're listening. Do never play the martingale. I'd rather you cheated on your wife and had your wife sitting outside the front door of where you're cheating than have you play the martingale. Does that give you an idea?
Yeah, don't chase your losses, Dan. I think that's pretty much it. All right. My friend John at Pro Craps has a question. We're going back to craps again. And let me see if I can get Miss Megan up. Sometimes I can't bring up both at the same time. No, she won't get in. All right. Let me go back because we're getting so many comments. All right. I'm going to bring this up. Miss Megan, you asked John this question.
Well, first of all, John, you need to learn to form an opinion.
Well, I didn't hear that.
You need to learn how to form an opinion.
That was a joke, John. That
Yeah,
was
you.
a joke.
I'm teasing. I'm teasing you.
No.
All right.
When I saw a beautiful girl, I'll tell you one quick thing. What's his name, John?
Yeah, John from Pro Craps.
Hey, John. I spent 4 years in high school. I was a great athlete. I played all the sports. I never had a date. When I went to work, well, I won't say in the casino, I saw a dealer. Her name was Arlene. I married her. I have a great marriage. She's beautiful. She just passed away 6 months ago. She's a beautiful. I just dated her. I've got two daughters and 3 grandkids, 2 boys and a girl, and 2 daughters. And let me tell you something. I looked until I found the most beautiful girl that would go out with me. And we got married and had a great marriage. And she just passed away, like I said, 6 months ago.
Yeah.
You can't fall in love with something at the craps table that requires just a flat-out bet. You've got to give yourself a chance to hedge it by betting at the 10. If you got 10 as your point, you've got to go back and bet the hard way. No 10. You got to go back and bet the hard way. 10. They give you something as an edge. You got to do that in everything you do. In sports, I never put a bet on, and I don't watch the game. I watch my computer to see where the score is. At halftime, I go back and I bet the opposite if I see I'm in trouble. I do that in every sport. I'm not interested in the game. Do you think I care? A guy that's making $35 million a year, do I give a rat's tail whether he wins or loses? Unless I got a bet on the game. But I am hedging all the time. As soon as I get close to losing, last example. Yesterday I gave out Colorado to win in sports, in hockey. Going into the third period, they were winning 1-0 over the team they played. I forget who it was. I'll think of it in a second. I was winning 1-0 with Colorado. Going into the third period, well, since I'm not a gambler, I do not take chances. I went back and I bet the opposite. So I had a good bet on Colorado. I went back and took the dog who was playing against Colorado. Plus I got odds. I got 8-1 odds that Colorado would get beat. Why? Because I cover myself. What happened? Colorado won 2-0. But I had already covered myself. Do I care? No. It just was a small bet, maybe $40 against what I was going to win for Colorado with it. You've got to hedge. Stop. If you're going to go to the casino to have a good time, get drunk, and take your wife or your girlfriend, or maybe both at the same time, go ahead and do it. You're going down, but just stay away from the tables. But if you're really
Well, that comes back to your old golden rule, John. It's not how much money you win, it's how little you lose. Protect your bankroll.
You, Gary.
So, all right, here's a question. I'm going to answer this one for this person. It says, are there such things as rigged roulette tables? Well, in Vegas, it's very difficult because you got the gaming commission. If they rig a game or try to tilt the wheel or rig the game, you can actually lose your license. So the odds are so much in their favor, they don't really need to rig the roulette wheel. Now, when you go to private games or after-hour games, you're on your own. But do they rig roulette wheels in Vegas? It doesn't pay for them because they can lose.
They want to sell a book and come out and say, hey, they fixed these wheels. What do you mean they fixed the wheels? How can you say, well, I'm going to fix it and only odd numbers come up? Well, suppose that afternoon, 14 people come to the table and they all bet odd numbers. I mean, they happen to be at the table that was rigged to let odd numbers come. Let's suppose it was rigged to the fact that the first 18 and the second 18, which is they're called high-low. Let's suppose they rig the table so that the low numbers come up more than the high numbers. Well, suppose 8 out of 10 people who went to that table are betting low. They're not in the gambling business. They base the fact that 90% of the people who go to a casino are stupid. And I'm going to give you a percentage that is on my website. 70% of the people who enter a casino get ahead at one time during the day. 70%. But 90% of that 70% give the money back. Just think of that, one percentage. 70% get ahead at one time. Maybe 5 minutes after they're there. Hey, they're up $72. Get the heck out. What are you going to do? Wait in the store? What do you want? And 90% of that 70% give the money back because they look at the watch and say, oh, to beat my watch for 2 hours, what am I going to do? Go out and jump in the ocean or jump off a building, but don't give the money back. 90% of the 70% do.
Well, that leads us into the next question, John. I think this is from Jeff. It's from Mid-Atlantic Craps. It says, and I think I know the answer to this one. What does John Patrick think about prop bets and how they've changed over the years? I can tell you right now, John's not a big prop better. He'd rather hedge bets and leave the prop bets to the suckers. But John, if you want to add to that, it says, what does John Patrick think about prop bets and how they've changed over the years? You got the ATS, you got the repeater, you got the fire bets, along with all the bets that you had back in the day, the NE7, the horn bets, etc.
Well, what's his first name?
I think this is Jeff, but it's from Mid-Atlantic Craps.
Okay, hey Jeff, I use prop bets to use as my hedge. Like I said, if I have
the hard ways,
no bet on a 10, the 4, the 6, or the 8, I go back and bet the hard ways.
The hard ways, right.
So I have no 8, it's in my favor. No 6, it's in my favor. I'll go back and put $1 on the hard 8 or the hard 6. It's just to cut down my chance when I'm betting against. And it's just to take the chance to cut down my chances of losing by taking the hard 8. And so that's a prop bet.
Yeah.
When I play I have a terrific system in Roulette, the action number system. I play the 1 and the 10. Between the 1 and the 10, I put the coins at the edge of the where you get all 6 numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I've got 4 possible combinations that come up. Well, let's suppose a combination comes up where the number is 36. I'll go back and put a hedge bet on low. Since I already got 36, I need a high number. So I'll put a prop bet on low to come up. It's the same as if I'm betting odd and even. If I got an even bet, I'll go back and take a prop bet on odd. And then I've got 24 numbers. I've got 18 numbers working for me, half of 36. It's a good question, Gary. But I do use prop bets only in the point of
hedge betting.
Hedging. Right. It's just like I have Kansas City to win. I got quite a few dollars on Kansas City to win this week. Kansas City's going to win. I'm positive. But I got crisscross bets on Cincinnati getting the points. I put it in a teaser last week.
It's the Rams, Los Angeles against San Francisco. It's a West Coast game.
They're going to beat San Francisco.
Yeah.
There's no question. San Francisco, Garoppolo is good, but they will not. They will not stop the Rams. And since I got plenty of money on the Rams, I also have money on who they're playing. I would do that no matter who they're playing because I think the Rams. I made bets 6 months ago as to who is going to win the NFC championship. I picked two teams, Rams and Tampa Bay. They ended up playing each other, unfortunately. But they were going to meet each other anyway. I didn't give a rat's tail. I don't think I saw 3 seconds of that game. Rams and Tampa Bay. I didn't care who won. Rams won. I'm loaded on the Rams. But even if they lost, I would have had Tampa Bay. And the same is true with Kansas City and Buffalo. I never thought Buffalo would get to the finals, ever. But I bet on Kansas City. But when the championship came, you would bet your sweet bananas. I went back and bet Buffalo plus 7.5. So I had a 7.5 point swing on Buffalo to win, getting the odds.
All right. Well, that's all about your sport. And if anybody hasn't signed up for John's Sports Service, trust me, guys, it's a great sports service. You get 2 numbers. You call every day. There's the pick, pin, and the future number 2. I've been with him for years, and his prices are just ridiculous. I mean, they go back to the 70s, and John won't raise his prices. You get all 6. You get 6 months for $200. You get the whole year. 12 months for $300. I mean, nobody does that. So you can check it out. Check John's Sports Handicapping Service. Go to platinumcraps.com. Give us a call at the office, 702-487-5223. We'll give you more information. But John teaches you not how to bet flat, because if you just bet flat by giving or taking points, you're going to die broke. He teaches you how to hedge bet, how to do teasers, how to do shots, and things that he will talk to you about one-on-one if you become a member. So it's a great deal. Again, just check out platinumcraps.com. Go to the Sports Handicapping Service. And I'm going to play, John, a clip that I want to play. I'm going to answer this gentleman's question. If I can scroll it up here. Tom Fleshman asked, if 7 is the easiest number to roll, why would you ever bet on any other number? Well, Tom, yeah, 7 you can be made 6 ways, but there's 36 combinations, so you only have a 16.66% chance of rolling a 7. You've got 30 other ways of rolling other numbers out of 36. So when you take 30 divided by 36, that gives you an 83.33% chance that you're not going to roll a 7. So everyone thinks, well, the 7's going to roll every 6 rolls. Trust me, Tom, I've had this conversation before. If that was the case, we would just stand at the table, count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we'd make a big bet on the 7. Well, trust me, that's not going to happen. It comes in cycles. Sometimes you'll see 3 or 4 7s in a row. I've rolled 5 7s on a come out at one time. Then you won't see the 7 for a while. Over thousands of rolls, it averages 1 out of every 6 rolls. Correct. But you're at the table for so long that anything can happen. And I've said this before. It's like being on the Mickey Mouse Club on a Wednesday. In fact, I'm going to ask Miss Megan this question. Miss Megan, do you know what Wednesday was on the Mickey Mouse Club?
No, I don't.
Anything can happen day. So anything can happen while you're at the table, Tom. All these mathematicians tell you the 7 can be rolled every 6 rolls. It's the easiest number to roll, etc. Blah, 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 blah. But you only have a 16.6% chance of rolling a 7 and an 83% chance you won't roll the 7. So look at the numbers, 83 to 16. So take that into consideration. If you read the Platinum Craps book, or if you read John's book, either the beginning book or the advanced book on craps, which we both have on the website, he gets into it even deeper. So sometimes I think that's a myth that, 7's going to come up every 6 rolls. Well, trust me, it doesn't. John, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to just kind of put you on hold for a second. I had a gentleman ask me about crap tables, and I'm going to just play a little clip. I was lucky enough to find a craps table here in town, And trust me, I wanted to put a new cover on it, a new layout. Well, trying to find people to put layouts on that know what they're doing is extremely hard. And I found a gentleman here in town, and I'm going to give him a plug. He's from Shays Billiards. His name's Mark, Estes. Really nice guy. They have a place here in Vegas. They just opened up a place in Arizona, in Phoenix. So if you're in Phoenix or the suburbs of Phoenix, I forget that real rich suburb out there in Phoenix. These guys not only work with billiard tables, but now they know that there's a big market for crap tables, blackjack tables, etc. So I'm just going to play a quick tape. I just made this with my camera downstairs. It's the table we just bought. I'm going to show you the old table. It was a 16-foot table. They cut it in half. You'll see the old felt. It was from the Riviera. It's old school. And then I'm going to show you what these guys did at Shays Billiards and how they put the new table on. So let's just take a quick look. It's only about a minute and a half. Well, here's the new table we just bought. It's an old school table. It's got the old green felt with the red and yellow. The wood is in excellent shape. It came from a after-hours Russian mafia club. You can see there's even the coin drop, the money drop in the corner. The rubber's in excellent shape. You can see they originally used a 16-foot layout and then they cut it down to 8 foot, which is exactly what I want for my practice table. In the dining room, it has beautiful armrester on the side, perfect condition, perfect wood, perfect rubber. And I'm just going to change it and put a platinum craps layout on it. And then we're going to put a carpenter, make a top on it so we can turn it into a dining room table. I'm going to get these Italian bar stools from Italy so we can put 4 to 6 bar stools around it. So this is what it looks like now, originally from the Riviera. And in a day or two, we're going to have the brand new platinum craps layout on it, and we'll see what the difference looks like. So this is old school, and now we're going to go to new school. Well, here's the new table we just... Alright, so here's the table after the new layout. We went with golds and yellows to pick up the color of the wood on the table. The company here in Vegas has an office in Vegas and one in Arizona, and they're now doing work with crap tables. So I had my own layout done from Casino for You. Since I really hate the cum section so much, I changed that to platinum craps, but if you want to make a bet there, you can. And I just think it flows a little bit better with the color of the wood, the color of the room, the color of the carpet. And they were very reasonable. They came over and put the whole new layout on in just probably a couple hours. And they took the whole table apart right here in my house. The table's actually in the living room, or excuse me, the dining room, and they're going to make a cover for it that I can put a tablecloth on it or a cover, and we're going to turn it into a dining room table. And then I'm ordering 4 to 6 bar stools from Italy, all in a dark chocolate brown to tie in with the whole layout of the room. So they did a great job. And we even put some wood backing behind the chips, and hope you like it. And I'm going to give you their name and address and how to get a hold of them. The owner's name is Mark. So this is what the new layout looks like for the platinum craps table. It's only an 8-foot table, but that's the exact size I wanted for the dining room and for teaching. And anyways, we're pretty happy with it. We think it came out really nice. All right, well, anyways, I just want to show you guys what can be done. I'm going to leave the link below, his name and address. Like I said, he has a company here in Las Vegas, and they opened up one in Arizona. Oh, Scottsdale, that's what I was trying to think of. So he works with all people in Arizona and around. So it's hard to find people that can do this type of work at a reasonable price and that you can trust. And I always believe in giving a shout out to somebody that can help the other players and this gentleman definitely can do it. Then I spoke to a gentleman in California whose name is Jeff Sheaver. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Seiver. He's a carpenter. He also makes tables if you want to have a table made. And he's going to be the one that's going to put the table in wood, and we're going to put a cover on it with supports. And then we can put a tablecloth on it and turn it into a dining room table, have dinner, and then afterwards take it off and play craps. So if anyone's looking to get a table or refurnish an old table, I know this information is hard to get. And in the back of the book on page, I forget myself, page 91, I'll bring that up real quick. I mentioned a place to get supplies and everything like that. The gentleman's name's Steve. Casino for You has a great website, casinoforyou.com. Obviously, you can get things at the Gambler's Bookstore. And I even tell you how to make your own practice table if you just want to spend a couple $100. You get some, plywood or board at Home Depot, buy some felt, put a layout on it, use some spray glue. And I did that for a while when I was just starting out, and then we graduated. So anyways, I hope that'll help some people. And it's just a great company, and I wanted to give them a shout out. So, John, you still there?
Still here.
All right, well, listen, we keep getting questions all the time. Again, to the viewers, I apologize for what happened earlier. I guess we had a problem with Anthony's mic, but I wasn't there when we set it up. He's in downtown Vegas, and we keep getting people asking questions about you. I do have another author coming next month. I'm going to tell the people about that, and hopefully you can come back and spend another half hour, 40 minutes with us. Next month. It'll be our Valentine's Day show. The Super Bowl's in 3 weeks. We're probably going to do it after the Super Bowl. Anything you want to say, on the Super Bowl?
Oh, well, I believe that Kansas City is going to make it, and the Rams. And when that comes, I got to see first. If I were to pick right now between Kansas City and the Rams, I'd go with Kansas City. I don't know if they're going to even get there. Kansas City has to win this weekend,
Right.
and the Rams have to win. My opinion is they both are going to win. I've got plenty of money on both of them, but I also covered Cincinnati and San Francisco because I am not a gambler. I am not. My job is to win because I don't give a rat's tail how much I win. So if I have to cut into my potential winnings by betting on the opposite side, I do it. I've been doing it for 75 years. Well, I'm only 45, but I've been doing it for 75 years.
Now you've got a system you've got a great system, and I know it just goes back to not how much money you win, how little you lose. You're always coming out ahead.
Right. But let me just clarify that.
Okay.
You know what Gary said? Doesn't matter how much you win; it matters how much you lose. If you take $500 in a casino and you win 10%, which is $50, that's more than you make in a whole day after taxes and expenses to get there and gas. Figure it out. You need to get to work. I never had a job, but if I had a job, I know it costs gas to get there, or car fare to get there, or train fare to get there. And look at the expenses. So if you go to the casino and $50, it doesn't get taxed unless you're a professional gambler and you pay taxes, and I pay taxes. I got no reason to lie because they know who I am when I walk into a casino, and maybe somebody's telling them how much I won that day. So yeah, do I report taxes? Yes, I do. But when you win $50, well, there's nobody's counting that. Get the heck out of there and go home. You made $50. Take your wife out.
Great advice, John. All right, listen, you can hang on. We'll talk to you right after the show. Miss Megan and I are just going to say goodnight. And
Okay, go ahead.
We'll talk right after the show.
Hey, thank the people that called in, and I really appreciate it. I really appreciate it.
All right. Well, you heard it right from John. He appreciates all the people, both new and old. We've had some people that have known him for the last 35, 40 years. We have some new people here. I mean, you have to learn from the greats. And, I said in my book, if there was a Mount Rushmore of craps, it would be John Patrick, John Scarney, and John Wynn. We all know John Patrick. John Scarney was a mathematician. John Patrick knew him. He took classes from him. He was a wizard, started out as a magician. I mentioned in another show, if you want to read a great book, besides his book, read The Odds Against Me. It's his autobiography. John Wynn is the gentleman that developed the craps layout as we know it now. Okay, he put on the don't come and gave everybody free odds. So you know, these are the guys. These are the legends. So what I want to do is I'm going to come over to the table, if I can come over to the table real quick. Okay, and I just want to go back and thank Anthony for all of his help. You know, you got to pick up his book, guys. It's dollar for dollar. It's one of the best values out there. And again, if you haven't written down his website, I want you to go to LasVegasAdvisor.com. He has a phone with operators 702-252-0655. It's a great book. And his Las Vegas Advisor, you can get either online or you can get it by mail. I get mine every month. He just mails it to me, and I'm not that far from his office, but I like to have it. And there's some great articles in here, all kinds of tips. And Miss Megan, you know, I want to give a little shout out to Anthony. Let me take this off real quick. Okay. So guys, if you just had a couple dollars around, and you can slide over here, Miss Megan, if you want. Okay. So say you had a couple dollars, you know, hanging around that you didn't, you know, your pocket money. Like I said, it's $37 for the whole year with Anthony, and he's going to throw in the book, and this is good for a year. Throw in a couple dollars, show him the money. You know, we'll consider this. Put it in the camera. There you go. So this just equals the money that you have around your house. We're going to put it in there. Okay. So put your hand out in the camera, face down. Yeah, there you go. And if you take that money, guys, and you buy his information, it turns into hundreds of dollars. All right. It's a great deal. So I definitely advise you to do that. Save yourself a lot of money. Get a lot of great investments. Take your girlfriend out. Take your, you know, your friends out. Use the match play, which I'll do. So let's bring back Miss Megan. There she goes. Oh, she's ready for the tables. All right, she's got her coupon book.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I know
Staying
she's
ready
gonna,
so I don't have to
she's
get
gonna
ready.
have one. She's got the Las Vegas Advisor. You got a copy of the Las Vegas Advisor? Okay, there you go. All right, so again, thanks for everybody tuning in. I'm sorry we had a little problems with Anthony's volume. Again, I wasn't there when he set up his computer. I guess we had a little echo effect. And for some reason, the show went offline and we had to come back on. I mean, I have no idea what's going on with this internet, guys. Dice Emotion, here you go. My best roll was 17 rolls and only won 7. Well, there you go. For that gentleman that said the 7's the easiest number to roll, well, there's 72 rolls and only won 7. Way to go. I wish I was out at the table with you then. All right, that's great. That's the way you want to do it, okay? All right, so Miss Megan, what do we always tell our viewers, our guests, all the people that go into the casino, you know, what do we wish them every time they go in, and what do we hope happens to them?
Good luck at the tables.
Good luck at the tables, guys. All right, have a great month. We'll see you right after Valentine's Day. Miss Megan, you can see her on Instagram. And I hope you guys have a great playoff. Remember, oh, there you go, guys. All right. Always make your numbers. Always make your point. Hedge bet when it comes to sports betting. And leave the casino with more money than you walked in with. All right? All right, guys. We'll see you next time.